I'd just taken a tea up this morning when she said, "Graham, I think the world of you." I said, "I think the world of you." And she said, "Well, that's all right then." I said, "What's brought this on?" She said, "Nothing. This tea looks strong." Pulled the curtains. Of course, I knew what had brought it on. She said, "I wouldn't like you to think you're not number one." I said, "Well, you're number one with me too. Give me your teeth, I'll swirl them." What it was, we'd had a spot of excitement yesterday. We ran into a bit of mother's past. I said to her, "I didn't know you had a past. I thought I was your past." She said, "You?" I said, "Well, we do go back a long way. How does he fit in vis-a-vis Dad?" She laughed. "Oh, he was pre-Dad." I said, "Pre-Dad? I'm surprised you could remember him. You don't remember to switch your blanket off." She said, "That's different. His name's Turnbull." I said, "I know," he said. I'd parked her up by the War Memorial on her usual seat whilst I went to get some reading matter. Then I waited while she went and spent a penny in the disabled toilets. She's not actually disabled. Her memory's bad, but she says she prefers their toilets because you get more elbow room. She always takes forever, diddling her hands and whatnot, and when she eventually comes back, it turns out she's been chatting to the attendant. I said, "What about?" She said, "Hanging." She was in favour of stiffer penalties for minor offences, and I thought, well, we know better, our Graham and me. Oh, I wish you'd been there, love. You could have given her the statistics. Where are we going for our tea? The thing about Mam is that though she's never had a proper education, she's picked up enough from me to be able to hold her own in discussions about up-to-the-minute issues like the environment or the colour problem. And for a woman of her age and background, she has a very liberal slant. She'll look at my guardian and she actually thinks for herself. Dr. Chowdhury said to me, "Full marks, Graham. The best way to avoid a broken hip is to have a flexible mind. Keep up the good work." They go mad around the War Memorial. So when we cross over, I'll generally link my arm through hers until we're safely across. Only once we're on the pavement, she'll postpone letting it go because once upon a time we got stopped by one of these questionnaire women who reckoned to take us for husband and wife. I mean, Mum's got white hair. She was doing this dodge, and I said, "Mum, let go of my arm." And I didn't mean to wrench it, only next thing I knew, she's flat on the pavement. I said, "Oh my God, Mother!" People gather round, and I pick up a bag. And she sits up and says, "I've blooded both my stockings." I said, "Never mind your stockings, what about your pelvis?" She said, "It's these bifocals. They tell you not to look down. I was avoiding some sick." Someone says, "That's a familiar voice." And there's this little fella bending over her, green trilby hat, shorty raincoat. "Hello," he says. "Remember me?" Well, she doesn't remember people, because she swore me down that she'd never met Joy Buckle, who teaches flowers in felt and fabric at my day centre. I said, "You have met Joy. You knitted her a tea cosy." That's all she can knit, tea cosies. And bed socks, both outmoded articles. I said, "You want to branch out? If you can knit tea cosies, you can knit skiing hats." She says, "Well, I will. Only I have to stand over her. Otherwise she still leaves a hole for the spout." Anyway, I said, "You do remember Joy because you said that she had some shocking eyebrows." She said, "I hope you didn't tell her that." I said, "Of course I didn't." She said, "Well, I don't remember her." And that's how she is. She doesn't remember. And there's this little fella saying, "Do you remember me?" I said, "No, she won't. Come on, Mother, let's get you up." Only she says, "Remember you?" Of course. It's Frank Turnbull. Oh, Oh, it must be 50 years. He said, 52, Filey, 1934. She said, Seacrest. And he said, no sand in the bedrooms. And they both crack out laughing. Meanwhile, she's still stuck on the cold pavement. I said, come on, mother, we don't want piles. Only he butts in again. He says, with respect, it is advisable not to move a person until it's been ascertained there are no broken bones. I was in the St. John's Ambulance Brigade. Yes, says mother. And who did you learn your bandaging on? And they both crack out laughing again. He had on these bright yellow gloves. Could have been a bookie. Eventually, I get my arms around her waist and hoist her up. Only his lordship's no help, as he claims to have a bad back. When I finally got her restored to the perpendicular, she introduces him. This is Frank Turnbull, a friend of mine from the old days. I thought, what old days? First time I knew there were any old days. Turns out he's a gent's outfitter, semi-retired, shop in Bradford and some sort of outlet in Morecambe. I thought, well, that accounts for the yellow gloves. Straight off he takes charge. He says, what you need now, Vera, is a cup of coffee. I said, well, we were just going for some tea, weren't we, mother? Vera? She's never been called Vera. Her name's not Vera. My dad never called her Vera. Well, except once, when they were wheeling him into the theatre. Vera. Right, he says, follow me. And he puts his arm through hers. Careful, she says. You'll make my boyfriend jealous. I didn't say anything. Now, the cafe we generally patronise is just that bit different. It's plain, but it's classy. No cloths on the tables. The menu comes on a little slate, and the waitresses wear their own clothes and look as if they're doing it just for the fun of it. The stuff's all homemade, and we're both big fans of the date and walnut bread. This is the place, I said. And then Mr. Turnbull goes straight past. No, he says, I know somewhere just opened, press on. Well, there's one thing Mother and me are agreed on, and that is that red is a common colour. And this whole place is done out in red. Lampshades red, waitresses in red, plates red, and on the tables those little sauce bottles got up to look like tomatoes, also red. And when I look, there's a chip in the sugar. I thought Mother won't like this. Oh, she says, this looks cheerful, doesn't it, Graham? I said, there's a chip in the sugar. A detail, he says. They're still having their teething problems. Is it 3 coffees? I said, we like tea. Only Mother says, no, I feel like an adventure. I'll have a coffee. He gets hold of the menu and he puts his hand on hers. Might I suggest, he says, a cheeseburger? Oh, she says, what's that? He said, it's fresh country beef, mingled with golden fried onions, topped off with toasted cheese, and served with the French fries and lemon wedge. Lemon wedge, says Mother. That sounds nice. I thought, well, I hope you can keep it down. Otherwise it'll be the pizza story all over again. One mouthful, and at 4 o'clock in the morning I was still stuck at the bedside with the bucket. I like new experiences in food. I had a pizza once, didn't I, Graham? I didn't say anything.